Hi, good morning, everyone. It's the weekend again. This is Sam Wong from Finance and Electric Services Team, LLC. Hope you're doing well. I want to give you a recap for last week's performance by looking at some of these um, major U.S. major index and talk about give you some update on coronavirus and then also what I think going to happen from now until end of the year. So you can see, despite the strong rebound for last week on Dow Jones Industrial Average for the month, it actually is still down by 0.36%, 129 points, which is not that much. You can see again, for those of you following my video, knowing that, this year have been a very interesting year, even last year as well. You can see a lot of V shape, which is, investors always love the V shape, and which kind of quantifying the importance of buying at the dips theory. So you can see this is one, but really in this deep December 1st, really a deep one if you can see it. So for the week, however, you can see a pretty, except Wednesday a little bit dip, it's really a strong rebound overall from the beginning opening all the way up to end of year. It's about 4% for Dow Jones Industrial Average. So the other one we'll look at, which is S&P 500, in a week as well. You can see, it has, just a little dip, and some of these are intraday, volatility. And you can see it's also coming back up pretty strong, 3.6% on the monthly basis. You can see that you actually have same follow pattern, but you actually have you have another deep before that, after December 1st as well. It have been rebound very nicely on a week. Which is very strong, and the Nasdaq as well. Just in a different perspective, want to show you a different perspective. 3 months, if you look at it, you still started from the point really low and all the way up to almost record high again. So it's very interesting in terms of Nasdaq, which is really the Treasury yield and the Fed tapering is really key issues on driving the space, and also seems like Tesla, Apple, all these big giant companies also driving how the index is performing. So you can see out of the three major indexes, which I don't talk about windshield for 2000, 5000, it really Nasdaq is really a really winner, clearly winner last week. And then you can just to show you like 5 days basis, you can see you almost hit the in the day, the intraday, you almost hit a record high. 52 weeks is 16,212. I will cover at the very end of the video as well, telling you what from a technical perspective, what will be the next target. If you break through the 10-day average, and then what will be the resistance point as well, support point as well. So that's just very, very interesting, very solid. And over the weekend, I'm not hearing much bad news. So hopefully Monday, the market will continue to be driving up, momentum rise. So really, also the other thing I want to look at, show you really quick of the graph is Tesla. Over 6 months, is actually up 64%. So for those who have whole Tesla, you probably clearly, your portfolio will look very, very nice. You really, again, the target, somebody would say $3,000 a share. Now I'm thinking about, you hit it to 1200, that really record high point is really, it is really possible for $3,000 if you think about year 2025, where the EV space will really leading the world, how you're running it from how we drive and go to work every day. So it's very interesting that it could have happened now, seeing the chart, and from an unbelievable point, $400 in the pandemic time before you get admitted to Nasdaq. It go all the way up. I mean, it just amazingly to now 1200, and I would recommend buying it below 1000. So actually, it was hitting 1000 on Thursday, so probably will be able to get that. So and again, it's very key, amazing and great result last week. For the index to bounce back and come back very strong. Questions about Omicron variant have spooked investor and caused many big players to try to lock in gains for 2021. So that was the previous week. The S&P 500 has dropped more than 3% over the past 2 weeks, but still nearly 21% higher this week. This year, again, S&P 500. This is just showing you a month, but it's still very solidly, very strong. And Monday we bought very solid. Momentum continued on Tuesday, but U.S. equity rose Wednesday with S&P 500 secured its biggest 3-day value of the year. MSCI index also rose 0.4%. Travel shares gained with airlines including American Airlines, Delta Airline, and United Airlines holding higher. Apparently, I mean, all the airlines with the Omicron wasn't as fear as at the beginning when South Africa also have an outbreak at the very beginning. It's all kind of rebound back. But of course, from the low, but of course, it's still pretty away from the 52-week high. The Dow closed lower on Thursday as it consolidated some of the rallies off of last Wednesday low. Despite jobless claim better than forecast, stock was slip. CVS Health rose after raising its dividend issue and solid forecast. The yield on the 10-year Treasury fell slightly to 1.49%. Remember, I talk about anything below 1.5% is good. The Dow closed higher on Friday as it extended rally off the month's low. So Dow had back to level of November 18 and 1.6%. Just need the 1.67% to get back to a year high again, which is, very easily. It could be done just the coming Monday. Consumer price index climbed 6.8% compared to the same month last year, but still slightly better than the expected 7.1%. That's also one reason, probably as explained why the market actually up Friday. Apple, at which record high, Facebook also rebound over to 329.75. Tesla has rebounded slightly over 1100 level again. You can see the graph of Tesla, which is really good, over $1,000 again. However, last week China's stock was oversold given the fee of the listing. Given the Fed tick is definitely going back to IPO in Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Baba has rebounded nicely to 125 from year-end low. Pinduoduo rebound over 10%, as well as JD.com also went back up. And also don't forget the double 12, which is still going on today. So we hopefully hear some good news about the sales again. That will drive these stock going up as well, the retail sales stock. The high range close set the stage for steady to higher opening on Monday. Session begin trading. November 16th high crossing at 36,316.61 is next upside target. And that's just the Dow Jones. If you can push it through, you probably, next target with 36,316. The second resistance point probably will be 36,565, which is actually where we're at right now. First support is Tuesday gap crossing at 35,365. For Nasdaq, if December extended rally off last Friday low, November high crossing will be 16,767.5 is the next upside target. First resistance for the November 30 high crossing at 16,456.25 for Nasdaq. Again, back to the level of November 23rd and need 3.7% away from the record high on Nasdaq. The December S&P 500 closed high on Friday, up 3.8% from previous week. The high range close set the stage for a steady higher opening. December extended rally, November high cross at 4740.50, and which is actually very, very close to record high already. So you probably will push it through this point, will continue cross higher. So the first resistance point is November 26th high crossing at 4717. And quick update on Omicron coronavirus. Medical experts estimate that UK can potentially have 75,000 deaths in the winter. I don't know if really exaggerated or not. I mean, that is, again, that's not how many people were exposed to it, but how many people are dying. So it's quite a high number. US is averaging more than 100,000 new COVID-19 cases a day, the first time the country has crossed the threshold in 2 months. Prior study discovered that vaccines only 25% effective to new variant. So Pfizer have done a study recently and say only 25% effective, but it's still better than actually not effective at all. So I don't know if it's a good news or bad news, but despite that, CDC continue to recommend Americans to have a booster shot. So that's the third shot. Pfizer really have 2 shots, but Moderna only 1 shot, and Moderna also recommended the booster shot. And now you can mix with different vaccine. So but Pfizer really recommended taking the third shot. Cruise ship out of New Orleans that was departed over the weekend before was discovered a crew member have a new infected a new Omicron. So CCL has stock has dropped a little bit, but then very quickly they released the media and explained the policy requirement for onboarding and how they're going to take actions to ensure that everything was well retained and not going to be explode. So if you decide to go to the cruise, you need to understand the disclosure, because so when you buy the ticket, they actually have a lot of writing. That's what typical American stuff is. Even you buy airline ticket, if you look at a piece of paper, they really explain a lot of things to you, which probably nobody reading it and pay attention to it. So that's just the way how lawyer always protect them, the company, right? So I think that's something need to be really worked on in the world, because if you buy a house, it's like 30 pages and stuff. Who's going to read it? A lot of times you just trust the bank, but what if the bank screw you up? So cruise will not be responsible for your sickness. So so that means if you get a COVID because you are on board on a cruise, they actually not liable for your losses, or if in the case if you die. Most of the 43 people known to have been infected with Omicron in U.S. at this point have mild symptoms, but most have been vaccinated, and 14 of them have already boosted doses. So I'm not really making a story. I'm not really telling you the situation get worse, really that bad or not. It's your judgment, but I am just simply sharing your fact, but adding no more, because I think there's a lot of news trying to cooking, how big this COVID virus is, and the new variants and so on. But in reality, we all know that we have lived with this coronavirus for 2 years now. So let's face it, strategically and by practice, you should know how you should be handling it. If you at this point still, free of that, or maybe you actually have it, you don't know. I don't know how many people actually tested it. I have not, so I don't know. Maybe I have it myself. So again, from the market perspective, this is what I mean by volatility. Fed Treasury beat were well received. It was popularly for 2 reasons: strong US dollar and interest rate, at least better than Europe or Japan. Wall Street analysts expect the market to remain volatile until there is more clarity on the Omicron variant threat to the economy. Remember, they say they need about 2 to 3 weeks to really learn and know more about and share with the information. So as the journey go around with that, which is 1 week already, they give you how many number of people get infected, how many countries, which I believe it was declared about 53 countries at this point already have this new variant. But again, no death yet, and it's pretty mild symptoms on on a lot of people that they recover themselves. Just have to don't get spread and stay home and rest. If Omicron concern continues to fade, attention will shift back to the Fed and outlook for growth. Goldman Sachs now predict the U.S. economy will grow by 3.8% this year, which is not very strong. But you talk about a whole year, think about it, down from previous focus of 4.2%. I'm still look forward to a week having the strongest momentum ever, pushing market higher, assuming that no bad news or surprises going. As a treasury yield curve stay lower than 1.5%. Between now and then, I recommend FAAMNG, which is Facebook, which now they change the metaverse, Apple, which have gone up to record high, Microsoft, which is really strong with the metaverse. They also will benefit with the cloud business of that. Netflix and Amazon, and also Google. Out of the list, really, my favorite will be Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, and Netflix. If Nevada, which is the processing chips, again, talking about short term, it fall below $300, which I think it did on Thursday. Tesla break below 975 to 1,000. I will consider buying those. Again, for short term, which means assuming the market will be up to hitting record high and bullish, and it's better off to buy the stock that in the index, you're following the index. Because if you buy some small and growth stock, the index can keep going up, but you're actually losing money. So I would really recommend you look at that stuff that focus on the index, assuming the index is going to be hitting record high and very bullish by end of the year. Okay, which somebody again, Dow was saying 50,000. I'm not sure who really will hit that, but S&P 500 somebody predict 4,800, which is pretty getting close, another 100 points, which could be. So just think about it from that perspective. But for the long run, I still recommend cruise ships, airline, bowling, Disney. Disney again have some new movies going to come out. The Marvel, well, actually on the theater now. One of them, Facebook, Tesla, but not at the current level, and perhaps the Chinese delisting, which have a risk, but higher risk, the higher the return. The price still pretty attractive after the pressure of sell off, so kind of oversold. So I was still kind of think about the Pinduoduo or Baidu, hold and buy a little. I sold some during the time because when there's so much uncertainty about the virus, but now I will consider probably hold them. I'm not gonna buy more. But Pinduoduo is currently, if they delist it, they may actually will have an IPO in Hong Kong. So I don't know the valuation on that. Baidu is already have listed in Hong Kong. Again, the IPO price $250. Right now, currently $151, I think. So it's way, you're really looking at this kind of $100 from this stock, right? So, and compared to Google, they're doing the same kind of business with future also cloud and some, investment on the EV and other space. Thank you. Hope you like the video.